Hi, I'm Leah, and I'm going to tell you about Demeter. So let's talk about the problem. Inborn errors of metabolism are a category of rare diseases that manifest as abnormal processing of food components. Each individual disorder is very rare, but collectively these errors affect thousands of people. And although there's a very wide spectrum of disease burden, some of these diseases can be mitigated by diet adaptations. So we present Demeter, the diet discovery app. Demeter is a platform to track your diet and symptoms with specialized functionality for patients with metabolic disorders. Let's talk about the technology behind our app. We analyze time series data using cluster statistics to find relationships between nutrient intake and symptoms. From there, we can identify food sensitivities to find a personalized, optimal diet for you. For people who already know their diagnosis and food sensitivities, we can offer daily tracking with emphasis on your condition. Demeter makes it easier for you to follow your clinically validated diet plan and share your progress with your doctor. When a new user signs up, they go through a series of intake questions that inform our algorithm to create a personalized profile. At this step, diagnosed patients can also load in their clinically validated diet. Now that they've onboarded, let's talk about the features of the app. The core feature is a food log that tracks macro and micronutrient levels using the USDA nutrition database, containing over 200,000 foods. This allows you to create and analyze custom meals in the app. At the same time, users can track their symptoms to assess and record their progress with the option to share their progress with their doctor. We present the user with easy-to-understand visualizations, and behind the scenes, the data is analyzed with advanced machine learning techniques to identify possible triggers. Using your triggers and the foods that you respond well to, we can create a personalized diet to reduce your symptoms and to better analyze or diagnose your disease. The user will also be given the option to consult further with medical experts or genetic testing companies. From the target addressable market of individuals with inborn errors of metabolism, we will expand to support other diseases as well as healthy people who want to find their optimal diets, thus tapping into a billion-dollar market. Our projected revenue for 2020 is $7 million, and we expect to have a 10% market share of individuals with inborn errors of metabolism. Our revenue comes from 4 sources: a premium subscription model, a research platform to connect patients to clinical trials, selling de-identified data, and collecting a finder's fee for genetic testing referral. There are currently a few diet logging apps available already, but few of them offer micronutrient tracking or symptom tracking, and in addition to these, we offer unique features to diagnose, track, and find a personalized optimal diet and find foods that are high and low in user-specified nutrients. Currently, we have a functional platform for Demeter, which utilizes a machine learning model to map dietary patterns to symptoms. We currently have functionality to support the 9 metabolic disorders listed here, with plans to expand to more. And that's our presentation. Thank you for listening, and we're happy to answer any questions.
So one question and one point of clarification. So you mentioned on the order of $1 billion market. Is that specific to the folks you've identified with these different metabolic disorders? And then can you talk a little bit about how you came up with those various price points that you mentioned for revenue?
Sure, right. The total addressable market is everybody who wants to track their diet, and that's like the 14 billion market. But the target market, the individuals with the inborn errors of metabolism, IEM, that's like a $76 million market. And the way we calculate that number is we calculate like MyFitnessPal is a popular diet tracking tool, and for an annual that for customer you can pay $50 per person to get a premium plan and get premium meals. And we kind of extrapolated that price point with the number of people who suffer from inborn errors of metabolism to get 76 million. But the 4 area sources of revenue, we looked up basic prices for, yeah, can you go back to that one? So premium model, that's just a subscription model of $1 a month for a percent of users. So that we calculated these numbers is based on the population of individuals with inborn errors of metabolism, and we said we try to get 10% of the user base by 2020. And that's about it was like 200,000 people. And based on that, based on those numbers and calculating these numbers, like the clinical research platform, like per person, if you're keeping track of their data, we can charge the clinical researchers it's like $30 per person to maintain their data. And through those methods, we've calculated a revenue of $7 million.
So your app assumes that you can treat these diseases by modulating your diet. Is there data to support that?
So parts of the treatment for these diseases, it's a lot of it is dietarily important, but a majority of it can be with medical foods, and we're having a resource on the website and through the app to kind of navigate people to those specific medical foods that can help with the different amino acids that they need when they're cutting back on the other specific amino acids.
We're actually tracking 149 different data points on each food that's being logged in the app. So, who knows?
How would you ensure compliance with the app?
Compliance, like HIPAA compliance?
Not HIPAA compliance. How would you ensure that a person who, or a patient, or someone who's tracking their diet, with a lot of apps, that's a problem. So when it's novel, you're doing it, but then you stop doing it. So how do you propose to ensure compliance with entering data into this app?
We were thinking that there could be some kind of system of gamification, and also you would, as you enter more data, you'll see all the data that you entered, and so you get this streak, and we'll try to emphasize the fact that the more data you give us, so every time we're calculating data for you, the more data that we have of your history, the more we can do for you. So we're gonna try to incentivize people just by actually showing them how more data helps, and also by gamifying it.